Disclaimer. According to UK law, I am at an age where the following alcohol you see in this video can be bought legally by myself. Do not try this at home, and be sure to know your limits when drinking. Also, don't break the law. I don't know how to do a disclaimer, okay? Well, I thought it was about high time I opened a pub, and I'm calling it the Two Hares and Yukai. Other names I was considering were the Vampire's Head, the March Comes In Like a Red Lion, and the Ship. Between those two characters is 100% canon. Instead of Sky Sports, we have reruns of the 25th International Spot the Panty Shot competition. When people are playing pool, we give them body pillows to help them lean over the table. And of course, our kitchen prepares its speciality, absolute bangers and mash. But why do you go to a pub? That's right, to get langered, pissed, shit-faced. And so we've developed our own original drinks menu based off some select waifus. And just to review them fairly, I'm gonna drink them. So since these cocktails are all about waifus, where better to start with than Senjogahara. The hitagi is made up of orange juice, which is the thing she threw in Kaiki's face during the airport scene. We then add in some light beer, as at the beginning of the series she was so light it was a cause for concern. And to top it off, we squeeze in some lemon juice, just so that it forms a top layer, making it the first thing you will taste when you try out the hitagi. This means that your introduction to Senjogahara is having something sharp in your mouth, much like araragi.
The cocktail actually looks quite nice. It's got a bit of layer of juicy bits on top, and probably tastes like beer, orange juice and lemon, which should be nice. I say that and immediately it tastes like piss. It's 3 elements, all of which I kind of like. I don't know, I haven't really tried that light, so 2.5 of which I like, and it's, yeah, not good. I'm going with 2 out of 10, which is a shame because I'm literally wearing a Senjogahara shirt as we fucking speak, so, yeah. I simp her, and this is how I'm rewarded.
An anime I watched recently is Kill la Kill, and the main character is Ryuko, and so she's getting her own cocktail. For this one, we start off with some cider, because cider is made of apples, and the quote-unquote apple of your cheek is the part that turns red when you blush. And believe me, with the outfits Ryuko wears, she does a lot of blushing. And because of this, we get lovely shots of her milkers, so let's just put in some shots of milk. Just to make sure it's mixed properly, be sure to intensely stare at its bottom.
I'm gonna admit, I'm not very hopeful on this one because I opened a fresh carton of milk and it came out in chunks. So yeah, I'm not sure that's normal. In fact, I'm genuinely concerned. Start off seemingly bad, and it can only improve from here. Maybe. Actually, not too awful. I mean, when I saw the chunks, I kind of limited the amount of milk I put in, so it's mainly just cider. I'd give it a solid 6 out of 10. I mean, you know, I'd give Ghost in the Shell 2045 a 6 out of 10, only because it was much better than I expected it to be, despite it looking like shit.
Okay, so this is me the next day, and what the fuck is the coloration with this milk? There's the fucking chunks on the bottom, and then there's just liquids here. And best part is, it is in date, actually. So, yeah, Tesco's, I respect you, just what the fuck are you playing at? Saber is a waifu based off King Arthur, a British monarch. So let's get an alcohol that uses iconography from another British monarch, that being Bombay Sapphire using Queen Victoria as its mascot. Another way in which this is like Saber is that it will keep appearing in different forms.
Ooh, fiery. Yeah. Oh, a bit lemony, actually. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's just association with gin and tonic, but yeah, I'd say not half bad. Saber is doing pretty good for the time being.
The Futaba is our next cocktail, based off Persona 5's Best Girl. I will not apologise for that statement. This will start off with some ginger beer, because she's ginger. Next, we have some Mountain Dew, because we need to know that she's a gamer. Some of you may argue that Monster Energy is the true gamer juice, but I have 3 reasons to disagree. 1. Okay, boomer. 2. Monster contains caffeine, which makes you hyperactive, and Futaba is anything but active. And 3, adding Mountain Dew to ginger beer will have the same effect on me as Futaba has, which is, it will give me diabetes. And this cocktail is non-alcoholic, which would make it a quote-unquote virgin cocktail. And that makes sense, because if Futaba is your ideal waifu, then you are indeed a virgin. Welcome to the club.
Despite this being the least alcoholic drink, I still think this is probably going to be the worst for my health. I haven't tried Mountain Dew, but I have heard it is either that funny MLG meme drink or the devil's piss. So, bottoms up, dickhead. Yeah, Mountain Dew, I don't think that's carbonated, or at least not as carbonated as the ginger beer I've got here. Yeah, so it just kind of makes it feel like it's been ginger beer that's been going flat for the past few days. And then, yeah, it doesn't taste awful. It's like, okay, ginger beer in it, so it's at least a 7, but dear fucking god, that is way too high for its liking.
Since she's now apparently everyone's favourite new waifu, Hayasaka will obviously make an appearance. For her, we've lined up a combo with beer and Robinson's fruit squash. Why these two? Well, beer gets its colouring from malted barley, and Robinson's squash advertises that one of its main ingredients is also barley. So we put these two together, and we've got 2 doses of barley. And what's another word for barley times 2?
Hey, hey!
This one looks kind of, I mean, I got a little swirl of purple on the bubbles. Froth, that's a technical term. Oh, ugh. I'm not sure. In fact, yeah, I'm very sure I feel about it. I put way too much squash into this. It's quite strong, actually. Like not in the good way. I'll be honest, I'm more of an orange person. You know, blackcurrant. Yeah. It's got the texture of beer and the kind of flavour of blackcurrant, and it just don't mix. So I'm afraid Hayasaka isn't best girl. That gets. I'm sorry, that's a 4 out of 10.
So, an anecdote. I was with some friends, and one of them bought lunch for all of us. We were all very grateful for it, so we sat down on a bench and consumed it. We were eating, so we weren't really talking, but a minute of silence descends, only to be broken by one of them turning to me and this other friend and saying, "So is Stella a stereotypical wife-beater beer, or is that just me?" Thankfully, the former was correct, otherwise that conversation would have been really weird. But this brings me on to Stella Artois, the aforementioned beverage of abuse. This is part of my cocktail, the Rika Takanashi, because throughout Chunibyo we see the main girl receive an amount of abuse that would trigger a visit from the social services. But as well as Stella Artois, we have Sprite. Sprite is spelt like the word spirit. Because of the confusion between these two words, people assume that the word Sprite has 2 eyes, when it actually has 1. Rika is like that, except people think she has 1 eye when she actually has 2.
This is just a shandy, so yeah, let's give it a whirl. Yeah, I mean, I was right. It is literally just a shandy. Shandy's pretty good, although pretty fucking expensive in most pubs. Which is why you should come to the Two Hares and Yukai. We do it cheap. If you're looking for a classic alcohol combo, rum and coke is the best one to go, and typically it's normally cheaper than a shandy. But don't worry, it deserves a solid 8.
The next cocktail will be based off Aqua. I chose her because she has 1/2 of her cocktail in her literal bloody name. So we get some water, but then we add in wine. Now, some of you might be saying it needs to be sake, because that's what she's seen drinking in the series. But I'm using wine, because throughout the series, she does nothing but wine.
Really not expecting much. Wine is like okay, and it's just going to be watered down that. So, ooh. Yeah, it's basically wine, just it hasn't got the same texture. So, unfortunately, that's kind of the only thing I really like about wine. So, yeah, I mean, it's not awful. 5 out of 10. Just tastes like slightly alcoholic cranberry juice. It's going to be a wine expert who's going to completely fucking contradict me on this, but fuck it.
Saber is a waifu based off King Arthur, a British monarch. So let's get an alcohol that uses iconography from another British monarch, that being Bombay Sapphire using Queen Victoria as its mascot. Another way in which this is like Sabre is that it will keep appearing in different forms.
Oh hey, it's gin, but in a slightly different container. That's how you know it's a different Sabre. Bottoms up. Same as last time.
Rika Tokarada is the poster child for thighs, and some people have even done research that would indicate that her thighs would allow her to float on water, so we're going to make a float. This is ice cream mixed with a beverage. It's going to be a virgin cocktail because you only knew about her because of Rule 34, you fucking virgin. But some would claim she is the magnum opus of thighs. So instead of a scoop of vanilla ice cream, as is customary for ice cream floats, let's plop in an entire magnum ice cream.
First I should kind of say I'm sorry, because this genuinely looks cursed. Also, I've left the stick in, so I'm gonna have to fucking bone a magnum like a fucking chicken. Wait. Yes, here we go. I'm shredding the chicken. There must be a god in this world because I have seen Satan, and it is in this bowl of Magnum and Sprite. Bon apple fucking tea. Mmm. That's good. Chocolate, I'll be honest. Like, chunks of chocolate should not taste fizzy. That's the general rule in life. And now the inside of this bowl just kind of looks like cum, which is going to make it all the more weird when I go and get the straw and finish off as much of it as I can. And just for that sound alone, this gets a 3.
Out of necessity, I suppose I should also mention Oscar. Because she is a ranger, we're gonna put in some ginger beer. And now, we're gonna add in some Jägermeister. Because like Oscar, Jägermeister is German and overrated as shit.
Yeah, this is my first time trying Jägermeister. I'll be completely bloody honest. The comment about it being overrated, that was out my arse. And due to frustration that I couldn't find a bottle like decently priced anywhere, so it's not necessarily overrated, but overpriced certainly. Not that bad, actually. It's gonna sound weird. It's ginger beer, obviously, but then it tastes a bit like dandelion and burdock, but if dandelion and burdock wasn't shit. And then also weirdly, like the sauce packets you get with pot noodles. This sounds disgusting the way I'm describing it, but this is actually really solid. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10.
Despite the anime movie 90's Short Walk On Girl being about getting shit-faced, the cocktail I've based off this film is literally just a glass of water. This because the main girl in this has no name, and so is unidentifiable, much like the taste of water.
Wasn't expecting this, but hey. I mean, it's just plain old tap water. I'd give that a solid rating. I mean, it's rather sobering.
You know what else is sobering?
What else is sobering?
The realization that you're a lot like the protagonist from that movie. Lonely, desperate, and you only ever stand a chance of looking sociable when you get drunk off your ass. Look at you.
You wear a Zoidberg mask, and under that you wear a smile, and under that you wear a blank expression. You're so emotionally stunted that you're the kind of person who'd attempt to make a philosophical statement about yourself in the middle of a video where you make shitty cocktails. Let me guess. You're going to try and put Evangelion music in the background and include some shitty reference to the Third Impact. You predictable, sad sack of shit.
Oh dear, you're confronting your personal demons. And you know which waifu slays demons? Saber! Probably. I haven't watched enough Fate to tell if that statement is correct. Doesn't matter. Drink. Now. Gin. Forget.
Are you sure I'm allowed to drink this next one? I mean, I don't know. I think it might be a bit too much gin, you know? I don't know. Do you think this is a bit too much? Can't argue with that. Bottoms up.
This final drink will be consumed the following morning. You wake up hungover, and this will be the perfect time to drink the sake. This is based off sake from Metamorphosis, or Emergence, or 177013. A hentai that has disturbed many with its realistic consequences and its genuine despair for this main character. But what you will do is prepare a hot drink. It could be tea, it could be hot chocolate, it could be coffee. Just don't put milk in, we've established that it's fucking rancid. Now, while preparing this hot drink, you have to be sure to heat it up for the bare minimum amount of time. This means that the drink will only really be lukewarm. However, for some reason, when you're drinking it, it burns your tongue. The sake was fairly cold, but you were still burnt. And so you say,
I know I shouldn't, but I found that way too hot.
"You monster."